Thanks, bro.
Welcome back, everyone. We're actually here for one of the more exciting parts of the game.
Oh.
Oh, shit. So this is actually supposed to be, the showdown was the new villain who's just been revealed as Solidus Snake. Did they say his name yet?
Yep.
Okay, Solid.
He had his title. He's at his little title screen.
Okay. Solidus Snake, which is another brother of Solid Snake?
And this battle right here is even supposed to be a remake of the Hind D battle from the first Metal Gear Solid.
Which is actually a remake of a fight from Metal Gear Solid 2, or Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake.
Whoa.
But this is the first battle that you've actually had someone assisting you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what I like about this battle. I mean, you are fighting a Harrier, which is kind of cool, but I think that's what I like about it is that Snake's helping you out.
Which is kind of rehashed in Snake Eater when you're fighting Vulcan with Ocelot throwing you ammo.
Yeah.
Wow. So apparently, I've never tried it, but apparently if you start shooting at Snake and you hit him a couple times, he'll start shooting at you.
I think he says, like, what the hell are you doing?
I know you can do that when he's like resting when you first meet him.
Oh, yeah.
You can shoot him and he's like, what the hell are you doing? I don't know. I'm new at this.
So what do you think? Is this more intense, better than, worse than the battle, Is this thing go to hell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna go to hell.
Do you think this is... How does it stack up to the Hind D fight in Metal Gear 1?
I think this is cooler.
You like it more?
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know.
They're pretty damn similar.
Yeah.
I think it's cooler probably because it's a Harrier and that it's a newer game. I don't know.
Snake's gonna take care of it.
Yeah, that's really cool. He's like, "Just don't worry about it."
But what is he actually doing?
Well, I guess what I really like about it is, like I said, like you're fighting alongside Snake. I mean, it's kind of cooler than being Snake. You're like, shit.
Are you going on record as saying that?
I'd say that's what makes this fight cool.
Oh, okay.
You know, they introduced that things can destroy around you in the Fortune battle, but they don't really use it in this one.
Yeah, it really seems like the bridge should be able to sustain damage to be like, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Crumbling.
And it should actually be happening. Like this bridge should not be standing.
Yeah, get some Levolution in there. All right.
Levolution.
Is that EA's marketing crap for Battlefield?
Oh my god.
Levolution. The level evolves.
Jeez. Sounds like
It's
a
like-
Mountain Dew
Yeah, it makes you
flavor
gag,
or
right?
something.
That's
Yeah.
the Duvolution.
You're like some marketing guy just had like he was so erect when he got to say that.
It sounds like you just shit it out.
Yeah,
the Levolution, I don't know.
Makes me gag, but some guy was really proud of himself.
Well, take care of it already, Snake. Fuck. So one of the things that I think is interesting with Solidus's power suit is that the reason that he's wearing a power suit is because all of the clones of Big Boss, and this is directly borrowed from Blade Runner, have accelerated aging. That way, because they're supposed to be super soldiers, and so they have accelerated aging so they can't be depended on for too long as being super weapons. So they have a limited lifespan. And it doesn't actually, I don't think it actually ever says this in the game, but Solidus is actually from a different batch than Liquid and Snake. He's from a later experiment, so he's not part of the Super Baby method. He's he's not a member of the band.
That's legitimate,
Yeah,
though. That's a legitimate term.
I was
you just
being
used.
completely serious. He's not part of the Super Baby method. Which also brings an interesting point that there could be endless amount of clones out there. And with all this Metal Gear Theory and stuff that we're talking about with the Phantom Pain, we're like, oh, maybe it's this guy, maybe it's that guy. It could be anyone. I mean, they just threw Solidus out there. He's just another clone, but he's not from the same batch as Liquid and Solid. There could be any number of clones because they cloned a Big Boss at a later point. I mean, that's why he is accelerated, because he's actually a perfect clone of Big Boss, whereas Liquid and Solid are part of the Super Baby method, so they're they are not perfect clones. They just have his killer gene and they have most of his genes, whereas Solidus is an exact replica of Big Boss. But because of that, he has an accelerated aging system. So that's why he appears to be in his 60s here. And that's why he has to wear the power suit to make him seem in any way intimidating. Which is also funny because like we saw pictures of the president earlier who looks like this frail fucking old man. He looks like what Clint Eastwood looks like now. And here he is wearing a fucking power suit, getting all swole. Swole at his snake.
Swole at his snake.
And this brings me to, this is my own theory here too. So we're going to see callbacks to this power suit later in another entry in the Metal Gear series where someone else has accelerated aging and they have to wear a power suit. My thing that I'm thinking about is in the original Metal Gear game for the MSX. So in this game, it says that Big Boss was in his 50s when they cloned Liquid and Solid Snake. And then we know that Solid is in his 30s when he fights Liquid. Which means that in the original timeline, Big Boss was in his 80s when he fought Solid in the original MSX game.
Old as dirt.
So basically, Solid has earned his legendary status by beating up an old man.
Cool.
That's been retconned. In Snake Eater, they retcon all that, so they make Big Boss a lot younger than that. They say so instead of being in his 80s during the Outer Heaven Uprising, he's actually in his 60s. So I'm wondering. Oh, that's just weird. Do you think Big Boss was wearing a power suit? Do you think he wears a power suit from Phantom Pain on? Because that would make more sense.
That would make more sense.
Maybe he just has more cybernetics.
Well, that's true. We don't know how cybernetic Big Boss is by the end of the Phantom Pain. We do know that he is like 70% robot in Solid Snake, the second Metal Gear game. Because all of this talk about the possibility of head transplants, and we're going to really date this episode when this comes out later, but the idea of head transplants going on, we do know that Big Boss had his head, is the only thing that was saved from the first Outer Heaven Uprising, and they cybernetically attached it to a robot body. So there is a head transplant in the series of the game.
Yeah. Also, I should be eating my words right now because they just destroyed that bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in a cutscene.
Well, they actually, there were parts that were getting destroyed.
Bits of it were coming off.
So how's that humble pie taste?
It wasn't quite Levolution, but it was,
We're getting there.
Oh my god. I want to follow in Snake's footsteps and be known for beating up old people.
Well, it's actually interesting because even though my eye, you bastards! What's with fucking snakes not being able to hold on to their eyes?
Yeah, right?
Oh man, there's so much to talk about. This is really fucking weird right here.
It'd be great if he was like,
This is really weird.
why'd you stand up so weird, man? You guys just stood straight up. He was all slow about it. This game was so weird when I played it when I was young.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
But I was okay with it because also like, I just accepted things as they were when I was younger. I was like, well, I guess that happened.
It's a video game. I mean, what do I know?
I guess that makes sense. Like, yeah, dude's just running across water.
He's fucking running on water.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
What are the extents of fucking Vamp's powers? Like, vampires walk on water now? It's actually, traditionally, vampires were weak. Like, they weren't allowed to cross bodies of water. But also, he's in broad sunlight. So, like, what are the rules? Like, is he actually a vampire?
What are the rules here?
And also, if he has
Jesus? What's
also
happening?
nanomachines
And running up a wall vertically?
How do nanomachines give him the ability to walk across water? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
The only thing that makes sense is Josh's theory.
Yeah.
And that's the one I don't necessarily. We're going to get to this later, so I'm not 100% on any of the theory, but that's the only time that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's running on water. I will say, though, and we're going to talk about Vamp a lot more later, the reason why Vamp is running on water is because he's a combination of 3 different bosses that they ran out of time to incorporate. And one of the bosses that they had was inspired by Neo in the Matrix. And so he had quote-unquote Matrix-like powers. So that's the only thing that makes sense. But how would you have Matrix-like powers unless... Matrix. But we're gonna get into that later. And I don't necessarily think that's 100% true. I think there's elements to that, but we're going to get all that later down the road.
If I could, I'd be out of here in a second.
Telling
How
us.
could you come back to all this? Why keep fighting?
I'm a dick. What can I say?
My best friend said to me once.
Oh, yeah.
We're not tools of the government or anyone else. Fighting was the only thing I was good at, but at least I always fought.
So it's weird that he identifies Gray Fox as still being his best friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is really. Yeah, it's really cool actually.
How weird would that be if Gray Fox is in the Phantom Pain and he ends up being Snake's best friend?
Yeah.
There's so much room. I mean, I don't want to get into that can of worms, but Snake and Gray Fox really do have an interesting relationship.
Are you two really an NGO?
Insofar as we're a
And also to go back to that thing about Big Boss possibly wearing a power suit, when you are going to fight him for the first time, you call Kaz, Master Miller, and he says, even though he's a geriatric old man in his 60s, back then in his 80s, Kaz actually says there's no way you can stand up to him in a hand-to-hand combat. That man is a monster. So either way you slice it, he's either the robot or wearing a power suit, or just a badass.
to the world.
What responsibility?
To keep track of the mistakes we've made as a species.
We need to remember, to spread the word, to fight for change. And that's what keeps me alive.
You think you can change the future?
Isn't this just the ending
Not as
right here?
arrogant as that.
What you
It's like the
do
same
isn't
speech.
grassroots
Yeah.
activism. It's more like terrorism.
I admit that.
But our group, Philanthropy, received some information. A new Metal Gear prototype was being developed here, and terrorists...
What a
were
weird
planning
point
to
just to
visit
drop like the fucking premise of like halfway through the game they're just like, this is what's going, like
We're here to stop all that.
it would have been just as easy to pipe this in at the beginning, the transition from tanker to the plant section, just to be like, this is what we're doing here. But it's weird that Kojima, for all of his storytelling,
This is a military mission.
tendencies, he just loves the info dump over a codec. I don't know why he still he does that.
I don't know.
Well, Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain don't have it.
Yeah, but how many? Would it took him 20 years to break away from that?
Uh-huh.
I know that, and I know I need to stay
It's
stronger.
it's kind of like I'm reminded of like
So I can come back.
that old adage from musicians of like the notes you don't play, like
Oh,
figuring
yeah.
out how to edit yourself
Yeah.
and leave out stuff.
I'm going to save the data, okay, Jack?
Is it okay with you? And also like in the other Metal Gear games, you beat a boss, you successfully survive a boss fight, and they reward you with like a really emotional cutscene. You learn something about the bad guy, or you get plot development. And this one, you sort of get rewarded, quote unquote, with fucking codec calls, explaining things that you've probably already figured out, or things that just confuse you.
Metal Gear's already gone active.
It's not too late. You can still prevent a nuclear strike by securing
The president.
Oh my God.
preventing password confirmation from taking place. Get to the president. He's in the core section of
Shell 2.
I'm checking
He's
the
the
satellite
president.
images. Looks like you can get to the core from the other side of Strut L.
The core hasn't gone under yet from what we can tell. Follow the railings down, then jump onto the pipes.
Sweet pipes,
The
bro.
only viable strut in the outer perimeter is the L. That attack just now doesn't make any sense. It's like they have no more use for this place.
Colonel, you were monitoring the codec calls. That man was the real Snake all along.
Hadn't you already figured that
He
out?
sounds like
Maybe.
Don't let your guard down with him,
Why do you say that?
because they were never a part of the simulation.
Uh-oh.
They're an unknown factor.
You can take your simulation and we're out here. We bleed.
oh my god.
Down.
I suggest
Is that
that
true,
you
Josh?
do, Raiden.
Is he out there? Is he bleeding?
He's bleeding and he's dying.
That has no bearing on your mission.
And we wonder why people hate on Raiden.
Snake,
Man,
you
because that is the
said
most
on the same
overdramatic thing.
Yeah.
We're out here, we bleed, and we die.
side.
My buddies died face down in the muck.
I don't give a damn what that piece of trash said.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Holy shit, man.
Again,
Calm down.
strangely emotional? Like how does that
Oh, yeah, very
how does that
emotional.
work how does that work out?
Man.
All right, this is like from in my opinion, which is the only thing that counts, this is where the game picks up for me. This is when it gets interesting again. I feel like we've gone over the hump, and to be honest, for me, I'm actually getting a little excited because it's gravy from here on. This game gets interesting again, and then that just segues into Snake Eater, and then fun times.
You going for the jump?
I don't know. You think I should do it?
I've seen some people do it. I know it's possible.
I've done it before. However, I am so clumsy. I'm gonna go for it. No.
I love that he has like a somersault, and he's like, I'm doing it. No, fuck me.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Whoa! Classic.
Okay, I'm gonna try it one more time.
Mid-air, he's so proud of himself. Oh, yeah. Nailed it.
Redemption.
That was great. That's how you skip that scaling across that pipe and then that
It's such a pain in the ass.
bird shit covered pipe.
And you get something special over here. I forget what it is, though.
Sometimes, Dora, it actually looks like you know what you're doing.
Not often.
AK,
An AK
suppressor.
suppressor.
Shit, yeah. Now you can go all out and nobody will hear you.
And
Oh my
IRL,
God.
does that even make sense?
No.
IRL in real life, does an AK-47 suppressor even make sense? Like, how does that even do it? Like that?
Can
Yeah.
you? Probably not.
Well, I'm sure they exist, but it's just supposed to mask your location. Like, it doesn't.
Right.
It's not as
It's not actually
silencing.
quiet.
Yeah, it's just so that it cuts out the reverb, essentially.
God, I can't see where I am. Okay.
Get a grip.
This is not a pretty sight.
Go on.
Tell me more.
He is here.
I see him. He below us. Time for smoke break. Ow, my
Wow.
Headshot.
Did I actually...
Yeah.
eye. Again, Dora, sometimes, still suppress. You can still impress us.
Shrank that bird.
I actually said you
Bird
could
was looking at you.
give you a bad look.
Can I actually go across that way, or... I'm gonna have to, I guess. Okay, good.
Shit.
Ah, shit. You might as well put that suppressor to work.
Well, actually, I don't have any bullets for it, so it's kind of useless, but I do have... I feel like that would have probably killed me in IRL.
Oh, man. I think at some point, Kojima actually said that one thing he really wanted to focus on is actually making the violence in this game way more gory. Like, that guy right now, it just fucking blood gushing out of his throat. I remember Kojima saying that he wanted the violence to have an impact.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been in the design document. He was very adamant that that soldiers bleed, that there were pools of blood, even though we have this whole issue of what's real and what's not. But Kojima really wanted violence to not be glorified, even though we laugh every time blood comes out of us. But I guess we laugh because it's so grotesque.
Yeah, or so over the top that I can't take it seriously.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
would you say that
Didn't work?
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of games glorify or minimize what violence actually is.
Call of Duty.
I don't think they go far enough with showing it, because when you... I guess you wouldn't want to play them then if they went
Yeah.
too far. Then you'd shoot somebody and you'd see the effects of shooting
Right.
somebody in the face, and then you wouldn't want to shoot anybody.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and we've touched on this before, this is like one of the only games that will actually punish you for shooting someone.
Yeah.
I guess you're right, though. I guess God of War could be a little bit more violent.
Yeah.
A little bit more painful,
God of War 3 was one of the only games to ever make me turn my head because of the violence. It was that bad.
Like pulling off a Titan's thumbnail.
Oh, God.
That's again in the realm of cartoonish.
Yeah.
That's like torture porn.
Specifically for me, it was when he grabbed Hermes, and you played 3, right?
Not all the way through.
Okay. There was a scene with him that was like, I just had to turn my head for a second.
Yeah, what other games can you think of where you can actually rip someone's arm off and beat them with it?
Yeah.
Oh, you did it the right way there.
Ooh, fuck me. Okay, sorry. Jeez. He's just like, he's so hard to control. Like, to get him against the wall, he'll just like...
Oop.
He won't go against the wall when you ask him to or when you need him to.
Well, that goes with Josh's theory of him not listening to people.
Yeah.
He just doesn't do what you tell him to
Look
do.
at that glitching out bird.
It's going nuts.
Did you see that, Josh?
Is he shrinking? What the hell is he doing?
I don't. He just landed. I don't know. That was weird. That'll
Just go to sleep.
show him.
The fucking bird. Man, guys, I'm excited. The game's picking up. Nothing but good stuff from here on out. That is a guarantee from me to you. It's not a guarantee. Don't listen to me. But we'll see you guys next time in the next episode. If you have any comments for us, there's any your own opinions, anything that you want to call us out on more bullshit. We have a lot of bullshit, guys. But check us out. What the fuck?
I just want to lean out the window and shoot you.
See more of Dora eating bullets in the face. Next episode of our Metal Gear.
What the hell's he
Year.
doing?
What is he doing? That was weird.
The fuck was that?
I've never seen that before.
He was like practicing Tai Chi.
Yes. I don't understand that.
All right.
All right. Well, see you later, guys.
Yeah.